Right, hello everyone, so I'm just going to be doing a quick video today, basically a sort of follow-up review of the Bosch Serie 6 model WAU 28R90GB. So I've had this machine for 3 years, and I just thought I'd do a final review video because I'm selling the machine and it's going, well, I've sold it already, it's going, at the time of this video it's going in 2 days, but it'll probably be gone by the time this gets uploaded. I've just done a wash in it, as you can see, that was the cycle. I'm selling it because I'm moving out. It's not because I don't like the machine or anything like that, as I'll get into. But yeah, moving house. The new house has a built-in machine, so I've sold it. So I'm just doing a follow-up video before it goes. So yeah, I still really like the machine. It's been spot on, really. Yeah, I don't want to make a huge long video like I did last time, but pretty much I still like the machine. It's really good. Just to comment on like a few things I've noticed, because at the time of the last review it was only a month old and it's obviously just about to turn 3, so it's never had a fault at all. It's been spot on. It's had one minor thing actually it has had is there's been a time, I think it's been a couple of times, where this drum has shredded the seal on spins, like very slightly. You probably won't be able to turn a flash on, you might be able to see it then. Focus. I don't know if it's still, yeah, you can see a bit there, it's where it's hit the seal. Might be in other places as well. There, a little bit. It hasn't done it for a while, a little bit there as well. It hasn't done that for, quite a while. That only really happens within the first year, and it's not really done it since, so that's fine. Obviously drum, still fine. There's a bit of noise from the belt, that's one thing. The belt is a bit noisier than it used to be. It's not as bad in the summer, which it is now, but in the winter it gets worse. But I think that's common with a lot of machines. My old Beko was the same, so I don't really think I can really complain about that, because it's the room the machine's been in. It gets really cold in the winter, and it gets humid as well, so it obviously isn't the best for the belt. Yeah, drum is fine. I have this bit on the back. It is very flimsy, but it's not been an issue in that time. Paddles are all alright. The drum is fine, as you can see. It's still perfectly straight and everything. The bearings are all good. Seal is there's a bit of crap in there, but I've just washed, so yeah, that just turned it off. One thing, I don't know if I pointed this out in the review or not, but I've noticed after a cycle, when you open this, it drips water from there, which is a bit annoying, but that's just, it's not fault, it's just the design of the machine. That needs a bit of a clean in there. That's the only thing I've noticed as well. These two stay perfect, but in there can get quite gums up. That looks a bit weird, that's just the lights. But in here, it's all perfect, pretty much. I'll give it a little bit of a clean before it goes. Yeah, all the buttons are alright, the screen's fine, mine's a bit damp. Another thing I've noticed, there's all water all over the floor now because I've just done that. The pump, it doesn't sound too good anymore. When it kicks in, I'll see if it'll do it now. It probably won't, because it's just done a wash. But we'll put it on a drain, drain only, and let's see what happens. now. It's fine now, but sometimes when it kicks the pump on, it makes a really audible noise, like it struggles to start. And the filter's clean, it's alright, it's just, I think the pump's a bit worn, to be honest, which isn't great, but it's been like that for a while and it's not really got worse, so I'm hoping it's fine. I mean, that's the only really thing I can think that's happened with it. And the seal shred, the shocks are fine. This machine's always been a bit rattly on the spin, ever since it was new, but it's never got worse since then, which is good. One thing I've done is, this did have a plastic shield here, but I've removed it because it scratches really easily and it just doesn't look really good. And I've removed it because I wanted to check how hot the machine reaches on cycles, and it's all good. All temperatures it reaches, they're all really good. It heats really well, washes really well, rinses really well, spins really well. One thing about the spin now is it's mainly when you have a big bulky load in, on the final spin it'll spin too unbalanced. The balance sensor's just not sensitive enough on this. It'll spin too unbalanced and then it won't go to full speed. It'll limit, which is quite annoying. I'd rather it try a bit more on the final spin to balance with big loads. It's only on big loads that it does that. On small ones it'll balance until it's smooth enough to go. But on big loads it can limit. Sometimes, well, quite a lot actually, on the first attempt of balancing it'll just spin, but it'll limit, which is quite annoying. But to be honest, it still spins well. It's not much of a difference when it does limit. You can't really notice it that much. There's been a couple times where it's spun out of balance, it started sud locking on the final spin or water locking or whatever, and it's obviously then it really doesn't spin well at all. But that doesn't happen very often. It's only happened a couple times. All in all, I do really still like the machine. I would have kept it, but the new house hasn't integrated, and I was going to keep it in the shed originally, but I'd rather it go to someone who will get the use out of it, because it's still perfect. It's got a couple of scratches. This one, I don't know how that happened. This one was there when it was new because I bought it off the outlet thing, but this one's happened. It's that one as well. No, it's not. There's one here that was there when it was new, and when it had the plastic on, there's a few on that, and then that plastic scratches really easily, so I've removed that, and it looks a lot better without it. But yeah, so yeah, it's still really good. Another thing I don't like is this pump filter. It feels quite cheap, I think, and I've noticed you drain that, it doesn't drain it all the way, and it's still water that comes out, and then it sometimes just, like, you can take this off like that, but then it'll flow under there and just flow out the bottom of the machine, which is quite annoying. One thing I did notice is this filter flap was really tight to open when it was new, but now it's loosened itself up. I'm not that keen on this filter flap really, but it's fine, I suppose. You're not really in there all the time, so yeah. Overall, I'm sure I'll miss this machine. The machine in my new house is a hot point integrated washer dryer, and I'm already know for a fact I'm not going to like it as much as this in the slightest. I would have liked to keep this as my house machine, but it's a rented house and I don't want to start pulling the machine out and putting this freestanding in and all that. I'm not too bothered really, because I'll have the shed and I'll have the classic Bosch in there, and I'm hoping to get some more decent machines as well. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say, really, about it. I suppose I'll go over some cycles before I go. So I don't really use these three because they're just too long. This one with speed is good though. I use that quite a bit. And then I use Easy Care a lot. It's good. But the only oh yeah, another thing I've noticed, that's another con-ish, is when you wash a bulky load. The only cycle that doesn't do it is cotton, and I think mixed as well. But all the other ones, like Easy Care, if it's a bulky load, it'll suds lock on the spin, and then it'll just do a stupid anti-suds phase, which takes 10 minutes. It does this. It just stops, fills up, and drains 3 times, which takes like 10 minutes, and it's really annoying. It does it every spin, every inter-spin. Yeah, it's a pain. And the worst ones for it are these three, because the programming on it is it goes into spin too quick, and if it detects a big load on these three, it won't adjust that. It'll just go into spin too quick, and it'll sud lock, and then go into the anti-sud. It ends up taking like a lot longer than the time. Another thing is these 3 cycles. They are all very similar, these 3, but it's just a shame like Dark Wash does. These 3 all do the reduced iron and final spin. So if you go into like a normal wash, press that, it'll do the reduced iron and spin, and it's too short. It doesn't spin well. So like Dark Wash doesn't spin well, really. So it's not that useful. Apart from in the summer, it's more useful. I might use that cycle tomorrow actually. I've got one more load I'm going to do in it tomorrow, and then on Friday it's going to its new owner. Super quick as well. I wish the spin was better on super quick, especially on the 30 one. The 15 one's fine, but the 30 one I think I could do a bit better. Drum clean, that's a good cycle, no complaints there. I do like the rinse cycle because you can have up to 4 rinses. Yeah, the wool cycle, I did say in the original review, it's absolutely awful. I don't use this cycle ever, because it's just completely useless. It doesn't wash or rinse anything. Delicate I don't really like either, to be honest. It's too intensive for a delicate wash, like way too intensive. It only does a slow water level and fast tumbles, fast short tumbles, but it's just too intensive, I think. I wish it had a cycle that did slow tumbles. It's more of just a quick wash than a delicate wash. Yeah. Cotton Colour, as I said in the original review, it's an energy saving cycle and it's way too long. So I don't really use this one. Cotton Normal is too long. It does sense down, but I don't think it senses down enough. A small load on like Cotton 40 will still take like over 2 hours, which is just a bit too long, I think. Eco, it's just Eco. It's not. It's just too long. It's a decent cycle, but it's too long. It's decent with the grease stain. Yeah, some of these cycles can get absolutely ridiculous. I should go over the stains as well, I suppose. So these 2 add extra water and change the heat, and this one just heats for longer. Or sorry, it does a temperature hold for longer to get the stains out. This one adds a soak and a pre-wash, and I think it ups the water too. Yeah. This button, I noticed, I don't think I said this in the original review, it adds a 10-minute long phase at the end where it just does an anti-tangle, like just turns slowly, which is just bizarre. I don't know. Well, I suppose it's for washing at night and it'll prevent creasing when you wake up in the morning, but it's a bit of a strange one. I've set this favourite to mixed speed. That's another thing, you can do that. You can change that to what you want. settings. That's the end of cycle buzzer. That's the keypad buzzer. That's the display brightness. You can turn that down. I've always kept that high. That's drum clean reminder, which I have had happen. Drum clean reminder. It'll flash this light when you turn the machine on. I've got a video on the channel to let you know if you need to do a drum clean. But that only happens if you've not used 60 or higher in so long. I don't know how long, but it's a certain thing. But yeah, I'm not going to keep going on about every bloody thing on this machine. It's more of just a follow-up video, this, just to say that it's still been a great machine. I'm sure it will be a great machine for more years to come with the new owner. Yeah, I would have kept it, but obviously there's not much point because the new house has an integrated one, and it just wouldn't get used in the shed. Like, I could have kept it in the shed, but it just wouldn't get used much, and I'd rather it just go to someone else who will use it and be happy with it. So yeah, so that's the Bosch Serie 6. The Beko dryer, I'm taking that with me because the hot point is a washer dryer, but I really don't like washer dryers for drying. So I'm going to be taking this as a main dryer, and I'll just use the hot point if I need it as a backup. But yeah, this is going, and I will miss it, but oh well, onwards and upwards. Thanks for watching this anyway. I mean, just a ramble about how it's gone with the machine. Yeah, I'd still recommend it. Obviously, you can't buy this model anymore. It's the newer version of it now, which is, to be honest, I don't think it looks as nice as this. But they're still good machines. They're still well programmed. They're pretty much the same, but it's just a bit of a different display and all that. But yeah, I'd still recommend Bosch for new machine. Right, thanks for watching this. I'll see you later.